The OnePlus 8 series is one of the best OnePlus generations in my opinion, even above the 7 and the 7T in my books. But is it worth buying a 2.5-year-old phone after its release? At £250 it sets just £50 below the incredible OnePlus 9 on the used market, so does it really do enough to justify your money? Hey guys, I'm Ryan Thomas and thanks to Damien Well for sending out this subject matter. Today is my review of the OnePlus 8 in 2022. By the way, stay tuned for the 8 Pro review coming very soon. Let's talk specs. It's where OnePlus likes to focus its efforts, and the 8 is pretty beefy with a Snapdragon 865 processor, 6 to 12GB of RAM, 128 to 256 gigs of storage, a 6.5-inch 1080p 90Hz OLED display, a 4300 mAh battery, and a triple camera array on the back. Look, that is pretty promising given that it comes with Android 12 out of the box and the fact that it's going to get Android 13 into the future. It's looking pretty good for future proofing. And it doesn't look too out of place in 2022. I mean, it has the punch hole, it has the thin bezels, it has a really nice set of colours and a nice design to it. Heck, it's even got curved edges if you're into that. Personally, I'm not, but it does look pretty cool. The OnePlus 8 misses out on the IP rating, which is a big shame, but you still get the signature alert slider, which we all love, a non-moving selfie camera, which they thankfully got rid of, and a pretty decent in-display fingerprint scanner as well. Surprisingly better, at least in my testing, than its replacement, the OnePlus 8T. Not sure why this is, but yeah, I reckon the 8's fingerprint scanner is significantly better than the 8T's. Haptics are also crisp, but not as sharp as those on the iPhones. Oh, and you get Gorilla Glass 5 on both the front and the back. Speaking of which, the display is a pretty mid option in 2022. 6.5 inches, Full HD plus 90Hz AMOLED. It's good, but compared to the Pro, it's not quite there. I mean, the Pro has 120Hz and it's Quad HD plus. But as a display, if you take specs out of the equation, which I like to do on this channel, I'm not purely about specs, I like to talk about the usage experience, it's a great display and you're going to be absolutely happy with it wherever you're coming from. Don't expect like an S22 Ultra level display because it's just not that, but it gets bright enough, it's plenty colourful enough, and of course being an OLED, the contrast ratio is nice. It's just a very nice display and it works well. And thanks to the 20:9 aspect ratio and thin bezels, the phone feels really nice in the hand. Not sure how they manage this, but it feels really light, it feels really usable. You can shimmy it around in the hand with very little effort. It just feels really good, like way better than it should, I feel. It's about 180 grams in weight, which for some perspective is pretty light for a phone of this size, which may help with that. It just feels really dainty and light and delicate in the hand. And for that reason, it's good it comes with a case. Let's talk about performance and software. Neither caused any issues in my time. With the Snapdragon 865 and the 12GB of RAM in this model, it just absolutely flew. Didn't matter what game I threw at it, what set of multitasking sequences I did, it was just fine. I didn't get a single hiccup on this phone, which is great actually, because you know, you don't want a hiccup on your smartphone, you like it to feel smooth and fluid, and that's exactly what this is. If you're a gamer, this isn't a bad option. You know, you're going to get decent specs, therefore decent frame rates, and given it's not trying to drive a Quad HD screen as well, kind of helps with that. Noxion OS 12 looks great as well. OnePlus's shelf is a personal highlight for me. It's my favourite, let's say, portal in any software skin, and I really liked the revised font sizing and design assets in the menus over Oxygen OS 11. OnePlus's always on display is one of the best in my opinion. It's a little bit minimal, you know, it doesn't give you the best functionality, not like the OG Motorola one, but it just looks really clean. It's very customizable. It's just a good always on display. It's, let's say, the opposite of Apple's always on display on its iPhones, which is awful. Come at me, Apple fans. I'm an iPhone 14 Pro user, what are you going to say? Moving on to battery life, it's a very positive aspect in my opinion. 4300 mAh is a decent sized battery for a phone of this size, and so I was able to get easily a full day of battery life, leaving the day with around 30% at the end. I'm not a super heavy user, you know, I do a bit of Bluetooth streaming, 3 to 4 hours of screen on time a day, which means you could probably stretch this to around 6 hours of screen on time if you're spending a quarter of a day on Earth using your phone. God help you. But no, honestly, it's very good battery life, and given it comes with 30-watt charging, you're able to top it up at lunch if you do use your phone all that much. I mean, it's just great. Oh, and look, the charger came in the box. Wow. Moving on, the OnePlus 8 impressed me in its camera performance way more than I was expecting actually. The 2 megapixel macro tele is a joke and only on the phone to pad up the spec sheet, I'm just going to say that now. The other 2 cameras though, the 48 megapixel wide and 16 megapixel ultra wide, produce solid quality images across the board. The ultra wide isn't as good as the main naturally, but is more than enough for the typical OnePlus target customer in my opinion. There's not as much saturation as some other models, which is nice because I feel that's a trend at the moment to way oversaturate the images. There's a good amount of contrast and the main camera at least is pretty accurate to real life. This has been improved upon over the years in software updates and is now a great option for those looking for a good main and selfie camera with a good ultra wide as well, but nothing crazy, not like big telephoto setups or crazy good computational photography modes like portrait video, etc. Just a good quality camera setup that you can mostly depend upon to get some decent images. Rounding out, for anyone looking at the OnePlus 8 series, the Pro is only a few pounds more and maybe you should go for that, but if you're really set on getting the 8, it's not a bad smartphone. Good specifications, really nice design, my favourite design, comes in some gorgeous colours as well. Of course you get the alert slider, you get OnePlus and its Oxygen OS 12 software, which I think is really nice. Obviously you're getting 13 going into the future, so there's a bit of peace of mind there. And yeah, I would not be disappointed if someone got rid of this iPhone and gave me the OnePlus 8. And that's saying something because it's like 5 times the price. So it gets my recommendation. Thank you all so much for watching guys. Please do like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Links in the video description. Massive shout out to my patrons for being continually supportive. And also shout out to Damien Well for sending out this smartphone. Check out his links in the video description. Make some really cool content. He's been a little bit slow with his uploads recently, but I'm sure he'll ramp those up soon. The quality of his stuff is so good anyway that it's kind of worth the wait. Anyway, I've been Ryan Thomas, thank you all so much for watching and I'll catch you later. Peace.